You can do this, hero. You can do this. Just look at the camera. Start the video like you've always done. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Hello, Internet. I am the hero of Julios, and have you ever been betrayed? Have you ever had your heart broken? Today's chapter, this week's chapter is chapter 1078, Escape Limit. Good news! We find out who the traitor is in this chapter. So anyways, the chapter art starts with Judge and Caesar finally realizing that the true enemy of theirs is Dr. Vegapunk, and because of this, they form Neo-Mads, and they're gonna be a problem later, probably heading to Egghead Island as we speak to attack Vegapunk, but he's probably not gonna be there by the time they get there. That's sad, but that's not as sad as what happened to me in this chapter. Keep it together, hero. The chapter starts with Stussy and Sentomaru discussing over transponder snails exactly what's going to happen, and Stussy tells it like it is. The world government is going to treat Egghead just like they did O'Hara. A buster call is coming their way. This island is going to be erased, and everyone on it is going to be erased. Sentomaru tells the people, you heard the lady, get off this island, and the people of Egghead begin fleeing for boats, because if they get here before the Navy ships do, they might be able to sail away before the Navy ships circle the island and bombard it to death. Sentomaru obviously is going to stay behind to give orders to the pacifistas. But aside from that, the team with Stussy, which is actually just Jinbei now, Jinbei and Stussy continue searching for the real Vegapunk. As they are one of the two only groups that aren't fighting a Seraphim right now, they're perfectly free to move about the cabin. However, the least free to move about the cabin is Usopp and Lilith, who have been turned to stone by S-Snake, and Frankie is 75% of the way gone. He's got his left hand, and he is not afraid to use it. I mean, that is weapons left, so he can, shoot with the ouchie finger, and he's got, the blast, and he's got half of a coup de vent, if he wants. I forget which hand the nozzle's in for coup de vent, but if it's in the left hand, it might not be as accurate, but he can still fire with that one. S-Snake kind of just leaves him be, though. She just looks at him, blows up the area, and as she's walking away, she just hears from behind her Frankie saying, "Wait, I said wait." Unless that's not Frankie telling her to wait, because there might be another person in that area. As I said, with Stussy and Jinbei, there is another group that is uninhibited by Seraphims attacking them. We have Atlas, Chopper, and Robin flying through the building on their little hover boots. Atlas actually occurs to her that there is one last spot that she hasn't checked, because it was kind of bordered off, so Atlas kind of just felt, we don't really need to look there because nobody uses that room anymore. It's probably the same room Shaka had just realized, so they'll be heading down there and meeting the mysterious traitor who ended our last chapter by walking towards Vegapunk. Robin is not worried about the rest of the crew because she did a quick look around with the power of her devil fruit. She just sprouted eyes in random locations, and she has found that most of the crew is fighting Seraphims right now. However, the quote-unquote physically weakest member of the crew, Nami, is going to be perfectly fine, because anytime Nami screams, a certain someone, as Robin put it, will always be there to protect her. And protect her he will, because Sanji is currently fighting against the Seraphim Jinbei, and Brook, Nami, Edison, they're currently watching the fight go on. Nami's a little worried about Edison because he seems to be out cold. But as the three of them are looking on to the fight, Brook enters his ghost form and he says, well, I should probably just start looking for Vegapunk, and Sanji, look out! And as he's telling Sanji to look out, the Seraphim Jinbei wallops Sanji right in the face as Sanji just stands there unmoving. And after the fist is done, we just see Sanji smiling at him, and Sanji says, yeah, that's not gonna work. This is the raw, unfiltered power of love. And his eyebrow is still in the opposite direction. So that's concerning. I think this is Sanji's violent mode, and I'm hoping he's still gonna be able to go back to being Sanji, because if maybe the problem is if he's in this mode for too long, he might not be able to exit that mode. If that's truly the case, that promise he had Zoro make during Onigashima might still be a promise that is waiting to be made good. Finally, we cut to Luffy's team as they're taking on two Seraphims at once, and Zoro is pretty upset because, unlike his fight with King, it seems like the flames on the backs of these Seraphims are not going out. And we don't know why. It could be an enhancement to their blood. They might have just way more endurance than King, so they don't need to turn off the fire. Or, in a more likely scenario, given their mechanical nature and their calculative minds, they might just know that they don't need to move fast to beat the Straw Hat crew. They might just know that if they stay durable, they'll outlast in endurance alone. Unfortunately, King was Lunarian, but he was human in the nature of he has a hubris. He switches between his abilities because he wants to either take out Zoro fast or show Zoro just how weak he was, but in those moments, Zoro had windows to damage him. The Seraphim, they're not going to give that kind of window. In fact, S-Hawk isn't even going to stick around for the fight. He literally just leaves. And as he leaves, Lucci points out, well, S-Hawk's probably going after the weaker targets. If the weaker ones are taken out, then the stronger ones lose their morale. Lucci is obviously speaking from experience, considering this is the exact same threat he made against Luffy during their fight back in Enies Lobby. So, Lucci, this is kind of a 101 strategy for assassination. In fact, we actually learned that all the way back in Alabasta when Mr. One and Miss Doublefinger walked right past Zoro and they were going after Nami. As the two of them said, the key to assassination is take out the weaker targets first. Zoro's not having any of that, though. Zoro immediately leaves the battlefield, telling Luffy, I'm going to go protect the others. Luffy looks at Kaku and says, Usopp, go help him! And Kaku's like, right. Roronoa, don't do this alone, you can't do it. Wait, who are you calling Usopp? And then he continues to follow Zoro. Luffy has decided that he's not going to wait for the flame to go out. He is going to put the flame out himself as he does a Red Hawk Gatling on the Kuma Seraphim. Lucci tells him, you're an idiot, that's not going to work, but sadly we don't see whether or not that does work because that's where we last see Luffy in this chapter. We then get ourselves a mini flashback right after seeing a couple panels of Bonnie crying inside of the memory bubble. We don't ever see what's inside of that memory bubble just yet. But whatever it is emotionally tearing Bonnie apart. Now, the info we get from this mini flashback within the chapter is that 3 months ago, this attack on Egghead Island had already been set in motion. Because somebody called the world government and told them Vegapunk was researching the Void Century. Even after the Vegapunks visited the, Mary Joie itself and saw how horrible the Celestial Dragons are as people, one member of the Vegapunk group decided, yeah, this seems like a good group. I'm going to put myself in with them. And told him everything about the Poneglyph research, about plans to escape, the Labosphere that they're going to turn off and allow things to happen in. This isn't good. And the mysterious figure walks closer and closer to Vegapunk. He looks up at this mysterious figure as he's sitting on the ground and he says, why? Why did you betray us? What did you gain from this? And the traitor leans down to him and says, oh, sweet Vegapunk, it's because I want to be a celestial dragon. You could say she had the desire to be a celestial dragon. That's right. The traitor is York. It could have been anyone but York, and I would have been emotionally ready. How? Why? Was the turning to stone thing from S Snake part of the plan? Was I a fool? Was I blinded by love? What? But no matter the reason, York is the traitor, and yes, that does emotionally hurt me a little bit. Obviously, this is a lesson to me of it's okay to look but never betray your true waifu. This is so sad. Alexa, play Despacito. This is just an upsetting moment for me personally, although it does raise a little bit of confusion. So, the I said wait back up in the chapter part where Hancock, not Hancock, Seraphim Hancock, turns around because somebody told her to wait. Was that York telling her to wait? Was that Frankie saying our fight's not over? When did S Snake turn York back to normal? Because it's not like York wasn't 12 feet away from the fight with S Snake. So there's a couple things here that kind of leave me confused of how York did everything she did. She's been alone most of the time, but it does make sense that Vegapunk's gluttony, Vegapunk's act of desire, the lazy side of Vegapunk, so to speak, would want the cushy lifestyle of a celestial dragon. I don't think York fully understands the situation she's trying to get herself into. I mean, the Don Quixote family left Maryjoie and they weren't allowed back in. So if they're not even going to let their own celestial dragons back in, what makes you think they're going to let you in? You're just a random scientist to them. So obviously she's probably been manipulated by delusions of grandeur, and I do feel bad for her because of that. And trust me, if she turns out to be a good guy in the end, all is forgiven, because it's not like this isn't the first time we've had someone nice turn out to be evil, turn out to be nice again. So again, personally, this is just emotionally speaking, I hope this isn't so. I hope this is some act of a devil fruit, or betrayal, or manipulation, or maybe a plan within a plan, but she did shoot Shaka in the head and told Vegapunk, "Oh, you're so silly telling me that the celestial dragons are evil. You sound just like Shaka." Although you can't really sound like Shaka right now because he's dead. But so, whatever the reason, York is the traitor. She wants to be a celestial dragon. Kizaru is coming with, Garcia, and it's just, this is not good everywhere across the board. I'm emotionally destroyed, but at least I know Robin will never betray the Straw Hat crew, so I can at least hold on to what's true in this world. Normally, I record my thoughts on Sunday, but this time I was so emotionally invested that I recorded the second I read the chapter. So let me know what you think of an off the cuff thoughts instead of a well written essay or thoughts that I do. This is more of just letting my emotions answer all questions in my head. So I may have missed a couple things in the chapter. So let me know in the comments if I missed something in the chapter, or if you have some theories of your own. Either way, thank you for watching as always, and I will see you in the next video. This is the emotionally destroyed hero of Julios who does not have his beloved York anymore, Xing out.